What actually happens inside your body when you stop eating for a while and just let your body run on its own? Imagine this. You finish your last meal of the day, nothing extreme, just a normal dinner. Instead of eating again a few hours later, you don't. No snacks, no late night bites, no breakfast the next morning, just time. At first, nothing feels dramatic. No fireworks, no sudden rush, just normal. But beneath the surface, your body is quietly flipping switches most people never turn on. A completely different operating mode. One that modern habits almost never allow. Because we've trained ourselves to eat constantly, every few hours. Every small hunger answered, every dip in energy patched with food, and over time that pattern teaches your body something dangerous. It forgets how to run without constant input. But your body wasn't designed for that. It was designed for cycles, fuel, then pause, feast, then repair, periods of eating and periods of not eating. And when you finally give your body that space, something powerful starts to wake up. Not instantly, but steadily, system by system. Let's walk through it, not from theory, but from what actually happens hour by hour inside you. Because once you understand this, fasting stops feeling extreme and starts feeling logical, controlled, intentional, a tool, a very powerful one. So let's start at the beginning. The moment you stop eating, the clock starts. At first, your body is still running on what you just ate. Glucose. That quick, easy fuel your body prefers because it's simple, accessible, immediate. But around 10 to 12 hours in, something subtle begins to shift. Your body senses the absence of incoming energy. No new fuel, no backup supply coming, so it adapts, and this is where things start getting interesting. Around the 12-hour mark, your body begins increasing growth hormone. Not a little, but significantly. This is one of the most powerful hormones in your body. It's anti-aging, it helps preserve muscle, it supports fat burning, and it drives repair at the cellular level. The same hormone people try to inject your body produces naturally, triggered by one simple condition, not eating. Now pause on that for a second. Doing less actually activates more repair. That alone should change how you see fasting, but this is just the entry point. Because once your body realizes there's no incoming fuel, it doesn't panic. It upgrades. And that's where the real shift begins. As you move deeper, around 16 to 18 hours, your body unlocks something even more powerful. A process called autophagy. Think of it as a precision cleanup crew. Not random, targeted, selective. This is your body's internal system for identifying what's damaged, outdated, or no longer useful, and removing it. It starts scanning for dysfunctional proteins, misshapen structures, fragments left behind from stress, inflammation, or excess sugar exposure. And instead of letting those pieces linger, interfering with normal function, your body breaks them down, recycles them, turns them back into raw materials your cells can use again. Amino acids, building blocks, energy substrates. It's not just cleaning, it's optimization. You're clearing inefficiency and restoring performance. This is why people who consistently trigger autophagy often report better recovery, improved skin quality, and sharper mental clarity over time. Because the system is no longer bogged down by cellular clutter. And this matters more than most people realize. Because damage is not dramatic, it's gradual, layered, silent. From sugar exposure that glycates proteins, from chronic stress that disrupts repair cycles, from poor sleep that limits recovery, from low-grade inflammation that accumulates over years. Fasting creates a window where your body can finally address all of it. Not partially, but systematically. To clean it up, to reorganize, to reset baseline function. Then we move into the 24-hour range. Now your glycogen stores, your stored sugar, start running low. The easy fuel is nearly gone. And your body has no choice. It must switch strategies. It has to switch fuel sources. This is where fat burning becomes dominant. Your body begins mobilizing stored fat, converting it into ketones. And ketones are not just an alternative fuel. They're a higher efficiency fuel, cleaner in how they burn, more stable in how they deliver energy. And especially powerful for your brain. This is why people report something unexpected. Not weakness, but clarity. A steadier, more focused state. Focus improves, energy stabilizes, mental noise decreases, hunger drops, because ketones don't create the spikes and crashes that glucose does. They provide a consistent, even flow of energy, especially to the brain. Now, here's where most people get it wrong. They assume that without food, the body starts breaking down muscle immediately, but your body is adaptive and protective. When you're fasting correctly, your body preserves muscle tissue. It prioritizes fat as fuel. And it leans on recycled, damaged proteins for rebuilding rather than sacrificing healthy tissue. So instead of becoming weaker, you become more metabolically efficient. You're using fuel better, producing less waste, maintaining performance with less input. Now, as you push further toward 36 to 48 hours, the effects deepen. Inflammation begins to drop more noticeably, joint stiffness can ease. Subtle aches start to fade. Because the inflammatory signals that were constantly being triggered by frequent eating and begin to quiet down, your gut also benefits in a major way. For the first time in a long time, your digestive system isn't constantly active. No incoming food, no continuous enzyme release, no repeated stimulation of the gut lining. And that pause allows healing to begin, especially if you've had issues like bloating, irritation, or imbalance. Your microbiome can stabilize, your gut lining can repair, your system gets a break from constant demand, your brain benefits here as well. There's something called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It's essentially a growth signal for your brain. It supports the creation of new neurons, strengthens existing neural connections, and improves resilience under stress. Fasting increases it. Which means your brain isn't just maintaining it, it's upgrading, adapting, improving, becoming more efficient under pressure. Then we reach around 48 hours and beyond. Now you're entering a deeper repair state. More systemic, more regenerative. Stem cells begin to activate. These are undifferentiated cells. They don't have a fixed role yet. Which means they can become what your body needs most. If tissue needs repair, they can support it. If immune function needs reinforcement, they can assist. If recovery is required, they can contribute to rebuilding. And this is where fasting shifts from fat loss to regeneration, from surface level change to deeper structural repair, strengthen systems that have been under stress. This is where fasting moves beyond weight loss and into regeneration. But here's the reality most people ignore. You don't jump straight into long fasts. That's a mistake. Not because fasting is dangerous, but because your body needs to learn how to do it efficiently. Right now, most people are metabolically dependent on constant fuel. Meaning the moment food stops, energy drops, hunger spikes, focus disappears. That's not a failure of fasting. That's a sign your body hasn't been trained yet. So you build the capacity. Gradually, you don't force adaptation, you create it. Start with simple patterns like 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating. Get comfortable there. Let your body learn that it's safe. Then extend it, 18 hours. Then maybe 20. Not by willpower, but by reduced hunger. That's the key signal. When hunger decreases naturally, your body is adapting. When energy stabilizes, but your body is switching fuels. When cravings fade, your metabolism is becoming flexible. That's when you progress. Because now your body isn't dependent anymore. It's responsive. It can run on glucose when needed and switch to fat when required. That's metabolic control. And once you reach that point, everything changes. Hunger becomes manageable. Not something you have to fight constantly. Cravings fade. Because you're no longer riding the blood sugar roller coaster. Energy becomes consistent, not spikes, not crashes, just stable output throughout the day. Now, there are a few important details you cannot ignore. Because this is where most people fail. First, hydration matters more than you think. When insulin drops during fasting, your body releases more water, which means you lose fluids faster. If you don't replace them, you'll feel tired, dizzy, or foggy. Not because fasting is the problem, but because dehydration is. Second, minerals matter. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, these are not optional. They regulate nerve function, muscle contractions, energy production. Without them, your system struggles, you feel weak, headaches show up, performance drops. Again, not because fasting is bad, but because support is missing. And third, your body will adjust your hormones. This is where people panic unnecessarily. For example, you may notice changes in blood sugar in the morning. A slight rise, that's normal. It's called a natural hormonal response. Your body is releasing stored energy, not malfunctioning, adapting. You may also see temporary shifts in cholesterol because your body is mobilizing fat, using it, transporting it, repairing tissue, building cell membranes, producing hormones. This is not dysfunction. It's a system in motion, a system doing work it hasn't had the chance to do before. Now step back for a second. Look at the full picture. Fasting is not starvation. Starvation is uncontrolled. Fasting is controlled, intentional, structured. Fasting is controlled recovery. It's giving your body time to do what it was designed to do, but rarely gets the chance to. Repair, clean, rebuild, optimize. Most people never experience this because they never stop long enough for the process to begin. Because they never stop eating long enough for it to begin. But once you understand what's happening inside your body, this stops being a trend and becomes a strategy, a very intentional one. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.